those challenges. So I just want to come to here to just share my experience and also to encourage people that want to go into the space as well, especially if you're students at the moment, or you want to go into the space, or you are you're already in a particular field and you feel you want to switch career, so you want to switch your roles into IT. Probably you are in a different field, completely different industry completely, and you want to switch into IT. So I'm here to encourage people and actually to advise or recommend on ways you can do things effortlessly, but they still kind of there still need to be some hard work from your part as well to be done. So yeah, I'm going to start with from my experience, the path I took from my days in Nigeria before planning to come into this country, all the way to now. So my name is Oluwafemi Famiwa. I am a network engineer, so I work with Pico Global Limited in London. So I'm the vice president of network engineering. So I've been with this company for a bit over 5 years. So I joined this company in November 2018. I think it was 5th of November 2018. So it's been a roller coaster, but yeah, God has been faithful. So yeah, the journey has been great. I've learned a lot of things in the process, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys as well. So that's just me. And what I do basically in my role, I do a lot of network design. So I mostly focus on network aspect of things. So network connectivity, cloud, automation. So I've just started going into automation now. So doing a lot of stuff around automation now. A lot around DevOps as well. So I do work in some security initiatives as well, strategies for my company as well. So it's just a mix of different things for me. So, and because I want it that way, I want to be versatile. I want to be a versatile engineer. I don't want to be a traditional stereotype engineer. So to just know maybe network aspect of things, because network is very simple and network is becoming, I wouldn't say obsolete, but it's like the foundation of everything now. And a lot of overlays, there are a lot of things that are built upon the network, which are mostly like applications or other fields that are actually leveraging the network connectivity. What we're doing now that we're connecting to Zoom, we're actually using a network to join, whether we're using our Wi-Fi or broadband, or you're using your tethering to your phone, to mobile, so you're actually using the network. So there's something that's some infrastructure that's making those things to work. So that's what I major on. So I started my career in telecommunications. But before telecommunications, sorry, in Nigeria, so when I finished my BSc, I had my first degree in Obafemi University in Nigeria. So when I studied electrical electronics engineering, I majored in communication engineering. So when I finished, then I worked in Nigeria for a year before coming to the UK. So that's after my NYC. So sorry, excuse me. So I work in with an Arab company. So it's called Arab Contractors. It's an Egyptian company. And what I do was I was doing more of the electrical design engineering. So I was designing a lot of electrical network across the building. So I work with architects, I work with mechanic engineers, I work with architects, I work with different people. So actually, we work on massive buildings in Lagos Island, Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and so other places basically. So I was doing the design of the electrical engineering, everything that's electrical within that building. So I am always responsible for it. So I knew that wasn't what I was going to do. I was just preparing myself because I was going to come to the UK. So I came to the UK 2009, October 2009. And I came to study, I came from a master's degree in wireless networks. So in Queen Mary University of London. So I don't know, maybe a lot of us know that, but it's one of the University of London. So Queen Mary University of London. So during my master program, I did a lot of coursework, a lot of things that I've not done before. Especially in the area of programming. So I've done a bit of front-end programming before. I've done something related to web design, just on the front-end static pages, but I've not really done core programming. So when I got to Queen Mary to the UK, so I did a lot of network and core programming, so which involves C++, Java. So that's when I was first introduced into the concept of object-oriented programming. So which I did a lot of coursework, a lot of projects. If I my project, because I wanted to challenge myself in software development, so I had to take a project on software development. While my friends were taking projects on you know, they were writing theses around, basically essays, maybe around neural network on a few things. I mean, which are vital as well, because it's a research program as well. So I decided to do an execution project, an implementation project by working on Java mobile edition on mobile phones. So I had to create an application. And this is me. I've never programmed in my life before. So based on what I've learned and what I've read, so I was able to take on the project. I had a supervisor. And eventually I got it working. But before I got to that stage, I mean, it was I don't want to say a nightmare, but it was really very challenging. It was very, very challenging. But I got there. So even when I got the application working, so I went to my manager. My manager was saying few things around. I should put some additional features to the application. I was like, okay, wait, come on. I'm not experienced with Java or C++. I'm only trying to do my best. But I thank God for him, because he actually pushed me. And I went back, read about some protocols and how to implement those protocols in programming. So I was able to write those codes and integrate them into my scripts and into my source code, and I submitted that basically. But yeah, to cut the long story short, I had a great time. Doing a lot of complex and challenging stuff while studying my master's degree. So after my master's degree, I was going to face, just for information, I came into this country as a tier two student, or very tier two category. So I came, and after my master's degree, I wanted to stay.
That's on a student visa.
Yeah, that's correct. Tier four student visa. So, and I think it was going to, I finished my master's in September 2010. Then I was going to go back. It was going to expire 2010. So it was going to expire, 2011, the following year in January. Then I said, okay, what can I do? But thank God there was opportunity for post-study work at the time. So I applied for this post-study work, and I got the post-study work, which had a lifespan of a span of 2 years, basically. So within that 2 years, what can I do? And after 2 years, you can't extend post-study work. You can't do anything. So you either get a job, you get sponsorship, or you go back. So, and that was when I don't want to say ordeal, I don't want to be negative, but basically that was when the challenge actually became even intense, because I was now under pressure that within these 2 years, what can I do with this visa? And what I was doing is I was trying to look for a job by all means, because I was leveraging what I had from my school, because I did the programming, I did all the coding, everything. So I understood life cycle of software development. So I understood software development very well. And again, I did a lot of things around networks as well. So I did a lot of internet infrastructure. I did a lot of satellite communications, but I can't work in a broadcaster company. I don't want to work there, because I had my focus on either I major in telecommunications, networks, or I major in software development. And what I started doing, basically, I started applying for CV. I had different CVs that I prepared. Like, this is CV for software development. This is CV for networks and security. This is safety for retails, because I had to put something, I have to have something by the side, because I had to pay rent. So I applied, I started applying. I had a lot of rejections, a lot of, unfortunately, I was thinking, okay, what's going on? I've got my post-study visa. So what's happening? Why am I not getting these roles? And a lot of people were saying so many things. Oh, because probably because you're a student, or probably because you lack experience. Although my CV lacked experience, like I told you, before coming into this country, I did electrical engineering. So I knew nothing about IT. I don't, no experience, it's zero experience in IT. I only had my experience in school. So basically based on in software development and internet infrastructure. So I understand a lot of things about networks and stuff. So I can do a lot of theoretical stuff on network. There, in school, you don't really get to do a lot of practical stuff like that. A lot of practice basically in school. So what I did was like, okay, how am I going to get into this business? I was lost. I don't know what to do. And I was like, okay, let me leverage what I've done in school. So I started putting all the courses I've done in school, the project and the coursework I was doing. So I started putting them as achievements in my on my CV. But that still wasn't working. Basically, I had a lot of rejections as well. I was like, okay, let me put some, because a lot of people say, because I, attend several career events and stuff like that, but a lot of people say, okay, why not just put some, maybe voluntary service that you've done. Maybe you actually volunteer to work in a library or something. Then I said, okay, let me try that. So I tried that, put some things that took it a little bit. And still, because I put that as an experience, even I had a family friend that I said, okay, that should put my experience. I should actually put on my CV as if I work for his company, and actually put something based on, and just word the CV around what I know based on what I've studied in school. I did that. Still had a lot of rejections. I mean, I can't count the number of rejections I had. A lot of, unfortunately, in my emails. I was going to probably show a lot of them just to encourage people. If you're on this call and you felt, if you maybe you're just switching, or you're a student and you just finished, just graduated, it's been very hard to break the ground to actually get into the space. Trust me, it's always like that. And for me, it was very, very challenging, and because you have to pay rent, you have to survive in the country. And what I did at the time, while I was doing all those things, that was facing those rejections. So luckily enough for me, I had three friends. I had three friends actually. So three of those friends. So all of us locked ourselves in the room and we said, we must get a job with this post-study visa. So we started studying, and we were trying to study for professional certification, because we said, okay, why? Because all of us were rejected. All of us, none of us had a job. Then we said, okay, let's write this. So we were preparing for software programming, SCJP, that's Software Certified Java Programmer. So we were preparing for that, but one of us actually did the exam. But I felt, okay, because I don't want to work as a software engineer or software developer like that, because it's too evolving based on what my experience in school. So what I did was, okay, let me write a professional exam in networks. So I started with Cisco professional exams. So, and I wrote a professional exam. I started with CCNA, and look at a few Microsoft exams as well. So when we did the exam, so while we were preparing for the exam, because we still have to survive, I had to look for jobs like normal job. One of my jobs, like I wrote down, is I work with Miller Patterson, and Miller Patterson is an installation company, the house installation. So we had to be knocking on doors and say, do your government want to give you grants and stuff like that? Do you want to take advantage? You just need to pay this little amount of money, then the government will pay the whole grant after the installation, and you don't need to. So I was knocking on the doors of people selling that, and if I don't sell, I don't get paid. So I had to, and I work across London, outside London, traveling every day with money I don't have. Then I left there because it was very tedious. I left there, then I started, somebody introduced me to Sky, similar thing, knocking on people's door to sell Sky products. And it was very hard as well. I mean, the Sky product I felt was easier to sell than the installation, because everybody knows Sky digital satellite TV you want to watch and things like that. It was very easy, but still was very difficult, because a lot of people don't want to hear anything that is going to take money out of their purse. And I remember going to one of these, outside London, one of these, this guy's house, and I knocked on the door. It was very late, because I worked very late, knocking on people's door. And the guy said, get out. So the guy shouted. But one thing the guy said, I was just saying, no, I'm not really selling any product. It's just for your benefit. And the guy went and said he's going to bring his gun. And the guy went inside to bring his gun. So I had to run for my life, for my entire life there. So yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that because I had a focus on what I want to do. I had a focus, I really want to get into IT, even though I had no experience. But I was surviving. I had to survive on the side. So I had to do some rough job to keep myself survive. In fact, I will introduce one of my roommates, one of my colleagues. Like I said, we were four. We locked ourselves in the room. So one of them was working with Sport Direct. One of them wasn't working at all. Was just studying for certification. It was the first one that got his certification. Then the other guy, he couldn't survive the old certification saga, so he had to go back to Nigeria because he couldn't survive the old. He stayed in the country, but he was one out of us that didn't get a job. That didn't get any job, so he had to relocate back to Nigeria because his post-study work ended. But one thing I was going to say is that while we're trying to prepare for that, we survived. We were surviving on the side by doing rough jobs, and those rough jobs from some of the money. The money we make from the rough jobs was what we were using to write certification. So we're not stopping at one certification. We're writing. Okay, once we finish, do another one. But going back to me, just to cut the story short. When I got my first certification, trust me, Um, I got my certification, my CCNA, and I think it was probably 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks after or thereabout, I got my first job. What I did, why the professional certification really helped me to secure that, which I think, and again, this is God's blessing as well, was because when I started the professional exam, now I had a different perspective from school. Now, professional exam was giving me real case, real world scenarios of how to build a network, how to subnet a network, how to connect intercontinental networks, how to do a lot of stuff, a lot of protocols, learn a lot of protocols. And I was doing a lot of hands-on. I wasn't reading, I was doing a lot of hands-on, build my own lab on my laptop, and I was doing a lot of stuff. So all this thing was what I compiled together to put on my CV, and I see that actually I've worked. I had an experience. Don't forget, I don't have an experience. And that was what got me my first job. I had an interview, and the first stage interview, they interviewed me, okay, what do you know about this? I told them. It's now said, because it was meant to be a consultancy kind of role. Then he introduced me to the person, to the manager that was actually hiring. So the manager started asking me some technical information. Trust me, everything I learned on during my profession, while I was preparing for my professional exam, that was what I was giving out, because it was real, it was practical. I mean, I could tell a lot of things by just right from my by heart. So I told them everything, and they were like convinced. They were convinced that, okay, this is the right guy for the job, and that's how I got my first job. Now the guy that got his certification before us, amongst us, he got a job, and when he got a job, he I think it was on 16K a year, but he still took the job. Then when I got my first job, I got 25,000 because it was an entry role. Then when I got my entry, my 25,000, the guy, my friend, resigned. He said, no, he needs to do more. Why the other guy was still struggling to get a job, but eventually got a job, and the fourth guy didn't get a job. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to keep our focus on where we are going to, and maintain our, ensure that we still survive as well. So we can't say we want to get into the space by all means, and how do I call it now? We can't say basically, once you know this is what you want to do, you want to get into IT, if you're really serious about it, it doesn't mean that you should neglect other little roles or stuff that you're doing, like whether you're into care or you are into retail or you're doing stuff. Yeah, you can do that. They can serve as they can provide the necessary resource for you to actually write these professional exams that you want to get into the industry. But I'm not saying the professional examination or certification is the only way, but it gives you a visibility, better visibility when you put professional certification on your CV. So that's purely how I got my first role. And my first role, when I got my first role, I was so happy, and I got into the telecommunication industry. So my first role was with O2 Telefonica, and it was in Slough. I had to be traveling to Slough from Dagenham. I had to be traveling to Slough for 5 years. So, and I was driving almost 4 hours. So, I mean, like 3-4 hours every day, because there was no working from home that time. So it was very tedious. Sometimes I'll be driving, I'll be sleeping because the pay was there, but sometimes I have to do overnight work, and sometimes I finish 4 a.m., 5 and I still have to go to work, even though they allow me to come in late. But sometimes I'll be driving, coming back, I'll be sleeping. But I survived that. But what happened was, when I was in O2, I was so comfortable. I was so comfortable because everything became easy. I was doing basic stuff. I was doing very, very basic stuff, and they looked so easy for me. I could sleep and do them, but I wasn't growing. But I love what I was doing because it was easy. I mean, I could just go to work and just fulfill whatever I was doing. I was looking at the number of cases, incidences that I was closing. I was getting recognition, and I love my manager. So it was a comfort zone for me. And I was in O2, and I was still earning 33,800. And I was like, okay, I think it was like, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna, am I gonna, I mean, I was married when I got my first job. Then we had our first child. Then when we had our first child, I was like, okay, how do I want to cope with this money? But that was okay. I was surviving for the next 5 years. But we're managing and things like, because my wife was working on the side as well, but she changed to part-time. But one thing that happened is that then my wife got pregnant again. That we had the second child. I was like, I can't survive on 30,300. But I was still comfortable because I was afraid to get out of the comfort zone. Because what I was doing was implementation. And let me tell you, the reason why I say it was basic because I was doing implementation. People will do their design. People will do network design. They will do security design, load balancer design. They will give it to me with the implementation that I need to do. All I just do is just take it word for word. I just implement it on the live devices. That's all what I was doing. Nothing. I wasn't doing anything of my brain or stuff like that. Although when you're doing something like that, you need to review what you're doing as well to make sure it makes sense so that you can ask questions. But basically, it was nothing. I wasn't using my brain to create something. I wasn't creating. I was just consuming what they were giving to me. I wasn't creating. And I said I was afraid to get out because I was like, I don't even know how to create, how to start designing and stuff like that. But I took a big step. I took a very, very big step leaving O2. And the way I worded my CV, because I've worked with network designers, I've worked with security designers, the security architects, the TDAs, the technical design authorities. I've worked with all these people. I know how they work. I know what they do. And because everything I've been doing, I've been working with them closely. So what I did was to word my CV in a way that I can create, I can design, and that increased my value, my market value in the market. And by so doing, I put that in my CV and all the achievements that I've done, all my achievements in the last 5 years, then I worded them around creating, designing. You understand? And I put my CV forward. And when I put my CV forward, I was afraid and I had a lot of offers. So basically, but I took one in Canary Wharf. That was when I went to Canary Wharf. So I took a role with an ISP in Canary Wharf. And when I got to Canary Wharf, in fact, the question they were asking me was like, because I've most of these things because I implement, so I can tell them how it works and stuff like that. But when they talk about design, how to create, then I kind of struggle, but because I've prepared very well, so I kind of give them some answer that they understand that, okay, this guy has some design principle knowledge, or he's understood some frameworks and stuff. So that was and I got the job. Now, this increased my worth drastically from 33,800 or stuff like that to like almost 60,000 just by doing that. 30,000 space or almost 30,000 increase just by doing that. When I did that, so why I was there, I said, I've taken this job now, I must deliver. Now, I've taken a job that is bigger than my skill set. I've taken a job that is bigger than my CV. I've taken a job that is bigger than me. So what I had to do was basically I had to be studying, had to write certification. Certification wasn't helping again, to be honest, because at some point I stopped writing certification, but I wrote a couple of certifications at the time. I wrote on security Palo Alto. I wrote on Cisco up to the CCNA level. I wanted to go for my expert level, but I stopped at that at the time. But what I was trying to tell you that because I knew I actually have taken what is more than me, I had to increase my reading. I had to increase my research. I have to push myself even further, as in I push myself harder than the normal person at my place of work. While they are doing what they're doing, I'm reading day and night. I'm sleeping very late and I'm reading, I'm studying, I'm creating, I'm buying books and studying about design principles, studying about design fundamentals, studying a lot of stuff. So when they started giving me a lot of projects, because first 2 months when you get there, they allow you to settle down, give you little basic projects that you can easily deliver. But after 3 months or so, when you pass the preparation, that's when they start giving you big jobs. And now they gave me one of the first projects they gave me was to create I can't remember. I think they won a job of 4.5 million euros I can't remember now, in Amsterdam. And they asked me to design the whole network from ground up, nothing. And this is somebody that I've never done anything before. Then I was telling myself, I hope I don't get stuck here, seriously. But what I did was because I believe so much in hands-on. I do a lot of hands-on work. So I had to go to my lab, I read a lot of stuff and started doing a lot of design. Did some design on papers, had some conversation with colleagues at work, did some brainstorming. Then I started designing. Then I built the whole network they asked me to build in my lab at home. And everything worked. This is something that I myself was like, okay, can I get this working? But everything worked. And this is a project of 4.5 million euros. And this was delivered in time. I got recognition for this. And because of that, I had visibility up to the senior management level. And now they started giving me a lot of high-profile projects. And that's why I started delivering. So now, so by doing that, it increased my confidence. And now I can do more work easily. I can do more, I can speed up. Because why doing that lab? Why doing the real stuff? I'm writing the design documentations, brainstorm, sharing, doing the knowledge sharing with the operations team, handing over to the service operations team and things like that. It increased my confidence. And now I've got that boldness to be able to deliver, to talk about things, about how things work. And up to the cloud level, that was the first time I delved into cloud connectivity and cloud engineering. And that's when I started doing a lot of stuff, because we had our own cloud offering at the time, our private cloud offering, and we have the public cloud offering through AWS as well. And that's when I learned everything and I started delivering there. So everything was done on the job, but I had to push myself to do it because I knew I actually taken more than what I could actually more than my CV and more than my skill set at the time, but I actually got it delivered and I was fine. I resigned there on my own terms when I decided to leave, because I wanted to get into the financial space. And now I resigned. Then I actually applied to financial space. Now I've been applying for financial space for a while. For people that on this call, it's very, very, I wouldn't say I won't say it's difficult, but it's very challenging to get into this financial space now, because one of the key things you must have is financial experience. The financial space is one of the industry in the UK that can command the money you want, the money that you think even you as a person cannot earn by just working 9 to 5. You understand? So basically, the financial industry can give you so much, especially when you target some industries, some specific countries like hedge funds, investment banks. They can give you a lot of money. But the thing is that they're very challenging to get into. I've applied to a couple of financial institutions or hedge funds in the past, investment bank in the past. Everybody was rejecting only because I didn't have any financial experience. But I kept trying because I had my focus on the industry and I kept confessing I'm definitely going to get into this space. I've kept learning. Then I started looking at financial careers. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with it. You can start reading join some forums, start reading about a few things about financial industry, the networks they use and things like that. So I started doing a lot of research around that. And I started getting myself familiar with some terminologies around financial. So when the time came, there's always going to be an opportunity, to be honest. It's just for you. It's just that when the opportunity comes, are you ready? Because it's not when the opportunity comes that you're going to start preparing yourself for that, to take that opportunity, because you might not have the capacity to actually to be able to take on that opportunity if you just started preparing while the opportunity. So you need to be preparing yourself and getting yourself ready mentally, emotionally, and technically for that particular opportunity. And when it came, I did all I could do. It was, and financial institutions, the interview stages are usually long, sometimes 5 stages, sometimes 4 stages. But eventually I got the job. And when I got the job, what I said I wanted was not what they gave me. They gave me far more than what I wanted. And what I'm trying to say is that when I got there, because that was my first financial experience as well, I was good in network, security, cloud, but it was another environment for me to learn a lot of things around finance. It's not about technical now. It's about how can you survive in this financial environment? How do you speak to clients? Use some financial terminologies based on the services we're offering to clients. So I was hearing something like derivatives, fixed markets, capital markets. I was learning a lot of things around, I was familiar with Forex, but a few things around indexes and stuff like that. So that's because that's what my company does. But I had to learn all these things, and I had to learn all those frameworks, design, because one protocol that they use that is proprietary to them, or that is common with the financial markets, is fixed protocol, which is not used with the telecoms, because it's all TCP. I don't want to talk about too technical stuff, but basically it's all TCP IP model, but they use different protocols, which I had to learn. But again, I learned on the job. I had to do a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of buying books. I've got a lot of books on high-speed networks, because my industry is more on low latency network. It's not just about connecting to places or connecting countries and stuff like that. It's about the fastest you can, and how fast can you connect these 2 locations. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, because when one nanoseconds make a difference in the financial markets. So if you've spoken to people that are traders, that trades with this financial institution, or they'll tell you that latency is very key, because so that latency is what we are selling. So that latency within 1 minute, it can actually earn a particular financial institution tens of millions of pounds or tens of millions of dollars. So yeah, but I did my homework very well and work with people. I had a mentor. I had to find one of the key guys in the industry, not just with people, but within the financial industry. I had to okay, wants to be my mentor, and the guy mentored me across. And before he left Pico, he gave me one of the most challenging projects I've ever done, and that was working with a major financial institution. Working with major financial institution in Europe, which is I don't want to mention the name because it's for confidentiality. So basically, he gave me that project, and he was like, "I believe you can do this." And he didn't just give me that project; he gave me a month to deliver the projects. And I was like, I was just being brought. I was brought to bear. They came for us for consultancy and for design and the delivery. And then he said, "I want me to lead this project. This is a project of tens of millions of pounds or euros." So I had to step on as great again, burning light, burning candles, sleeping very late. I had to do what I had to do, basically, not because I'm okay with it or not because it's convenient, but because at the end of the day, I had that visibility up to the senior management, up to the CEO level. And when I spoke, when I speak, people want to listen because they have something to offer. Now, I have that recognition in my company to say, okay, I became basically SME, subject matter expert in certain areas that if the design wants to be done, or maybe you want to, a new product needs to be created, or new products need to be introduced, basically, they had to come to me, and they had to, if I have to have my say, basically. So I had that visibility across the senior management level, and that's because I had to push myself to do what I had to do to get to that particular level. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is I'm not trying to just tell you all my story, just to say it is all rosy and easy. It's hard work, serious work. IT is one of the most wonderful fields in the world, not in the UK, in the world. It's a field that if you get into, trust me, you keep growing and growing and growing. That's if you want to grow. And you keep commanding the amount of money you want. Call it yourself. You determine your worth in the market. And when I'm talking about worth, I'm not talking about just worth of saying, I'm talking about your market value, because sometimes you want something and you, again, how to market your worth really matters a lot. But basically, you need to be able to see the value you can bring on the table. When I mean what equates to value? What can you bring on the table? No company is going to hire you if you don't have anything to offer. If you can't sell your values to your to the company, to your prospective company, they're not going to hire you. Because don't forget, you are not the only person applying for that job. There are several tens of hundreds, or I'm sorry, I said tens of hundreds. Maybe lots of people, like hundreds of people applying for the same role. Sometimes you'll see some job on LinkedIn, you find out that 500 people have already applied. You get discouraged to apply sometimes, but you might be surprised that even after about 500 people, they're still looking for who to find. They're still looking for the right candidates. So I want to say that don't start with money. Don't start with, I want to come into IT because of money. Money should be at the back of your mind when you're coming into this space. The thing is that you want to learn as much as possible and add value to yourself. Once you add value to yourself, you start commanding the respect in the market, in the industry. You increase your market worth as well in the industry. And there's something about market worth, which at some point in time, maybe if I have an opportunity, I'm going to share with you. But market worth, sometimes a lot of us are well skilled. A lot of us knows a lot of a lot of us know a lot, but we just can't market ourselves very well. We just don't know our current value in the market. Let me tell you a quick story. Sorry, while rounding up now. So let me tell you a quick story. So in 2001, to be precise, I think I was with my company. So basically, I was just around the corner of 6 figures, basically. And I looked at what I've delivered so far in my current company, and I was like, okay, what's going on there? I know I mean, I tried to apply for some job outside, and I'm looking at, okay, what's the offering and things like that. And I say, okay, this is my work. And I look at what I've done and how they value me in my company, because I know you have to have that substance to offer, that value to offer. Because if you tell your company you're going, they'll say bye-bye if you don't have anything of value. So basically, and I told them, I spoke to the HR, I spoke to my manager for that, I spoke to HR, I think I'm underpaid. I said, and I'm not happy with it. Then my manager said, okay, speak to the HR. I spoke to HR. Then the HR spoke to my the senior manager, CIO, and the CIO said, oh, okay, we'll see what I can do. They said, okay, came back to me, okay, what's going on? He said, and I told him, okay, I'm receiving a better offers outside, and I might resign. And the guy said, okay, no, stop. Let me see what I can do. The guy said, let me see what I can do, because that was when I was working on that project, the high profile project. And if I leave for another person to come on that project, it's going to take months for them to be able to grasp everything I've done. And the guy just went to speak, okay, let me speak to this, let me speak to that. Within a space of 2 weeks, the guy came with addition, almost 20,000 increase. This is without appraiser. This is without anything that say, oh, based on your review, we want to agree. No, this is because I've just went back to them and say, I know my market worth. I think I'm undervalued, I'm underpaid. This is because this, and they increased that within the space. And he said, okay, they're going to look at what they're going to do with bonus. They want to give me bonus now. They'll give me, and then at the end of the year, when they do the review, believe me, I was expecting only the bonus. When they did my review and everything like that, he added almost another 20, another 25 on top of that. So within a space of 1 year, I increased my salary by almost 45,000 to 50,000 within the space of 1 year. I increased it like that. So basically, and what I'm trying to say is that money should not be your goal. Fine. Money is part of what you should, especially in this UK, but it shouldn't be your ultimate goal. It shouldn't be your driving force. Your driving force should be your value. And once you know your value, once you have that value and to offer, once you know your value and you know your market worth, then you can actually command the money you want in the market. And trust me, you'll be surprised that you think the highest you can earn in this country is 100,000. You think the highest you can earn in this country is 200 or 300,000. I have people earning 800,000, 900,000 in this country, over 1 million in this country, in the financial space. So trust me, you can command your worth, especially in the IT industry. You can make so much. But again, you have to have that value, substance. You have to be a person of substance and bring something substantial to the table. It's not just, okay, yeah, you can't just follow the crowd. You can't say, and again, you have to be a very strong contributor. How can you be a strong contributor in your company? You have to learn, read, expand your knowledge. I mean, go to different forums, read, buy books, and develop yourself. Have hands-on. IT is hands-on. Someone talk about project management. Project management is good, you understand? But I don't see project management as pure IT, because in any industry, you can actually have a project manager in any industry. But if you want to come into IT, you have to be a technical project manager to have your say, to command the kind of money you want. You have to be a technical project manager. That is, you are good in technical aspect of things, and your project management, they're on point as well. Then that's when you're going to have a better say. You will even earn more respect than being just another project manager. But I'm not saying project management is not good, but to come into IT, always see yourself as being a technical project manager, not just a project manager, because you're going to be speaking with the technical stakeholders. You're going to be speaking to the technical stakeholder, and you will earn respect from them if they know that you know what they're saying. You don't have to know everything in details. On the high level is fine. So that's why I'll just encourage one of you. So especially just last 3 things before I leave. So I've got a word for if you're students, if you are into IT at the moment, and also if you're switching career into IT. So the first person, if you're in the first category of people, if you're students on this platform. Now, one thing that you need to know, which I noticed, is that forget about whether you have experience. Don't be afraid that you're just graduating, or you're going to be graduating and going to be going to the industry. Don't be afraid. Don't worry. Whether people have told you, when people have told you, okay, they've had a lot of rejections and stuff, your case doesn't have to be the same. But you have to prepare right from the time you're in school. You don't have to be afraid. Now, one thing I want you to always think about is that you need to start, when you come out from school, you need to leverage on your education. What your coursework, if you maybe a lot of people doing cybersecurity, machine learning in school and things like that, look at everything you've done. Try to extract them out from your coursework. Those courseworks, they're like real life situation, real life example. They might not be like real practical stuff, but try to extract them out and see how we can map them to something in the real world and document them down as an achievement that you can put in your CV. Now, if you are undergraduates, if you're not in masters, if you're an undergraduate, leverage your internship. Internships are very good. They're like work experience. Then also vocational experiences as well. So sometimes you just maybe while you're working, while you're studying, you're working elsewhere as well, maybe part-time. So those experiences that you're gaining as well, just put them down. They're not going to waste. Then your life skills. Everybody have life skills. Sometimes we say we don't have experience, but sometimes our soft skills alone can convince our employer potential, our future or prospective employers to employ us, because they see that we've got the heart to learn. They can see the growth mindset within us, and they can actually see that we're a good communicator, we're a good problem solver. They can see all those life skills during your interviews, and that alone might give you that entry-level job that you're looking for. So I just wanted to be very careful on that. So, and also one thing again is, okay, I think one thing again, if you're just coming out from, even while you're studying, you can write certification. Look at the industry you want to dive into and find, even if it's just the entry level, ITIL, like I say, ITIL, just that's the very basic entry level that talks about service management principles and framework. You can do that. And that will give you a very good understanding about the service management life cycles. So with that, you can actually work as an help desk guy. You can work as an IT analyst. You can work on those are entry-level jobs. Those ones don't need you to have a lot of experience. But I didn't start as the entry, as a very, very entry level. I started like almost midpoint, but not exactly midpoint. But entry-level jobs are very easy to get if you do your homework very well. So I'm just going to encourage you that whatever thing you're doing in school at the moment, don't let it go to waste. Try to leverage on them, on those things that you're studying at the moment, your education, your coursework, your projects, everything, extract them out, and your internship, make them to be something of, add them like an achievement in your CV, and also do something in your school at the moment, even if it's just to be in your library, to work on their system and do something on the database. There's a way you can frame it that you work on, like if you want to go to software, you can say you've done this particular software optimization on this database, and this is what was it. There's a way you can word your CV that it might look to them like, yeah, you've done something big. So that's for students. For people that are in the industry at the moment, I'll probably encourage you that you need to keep evolving. You need to keep learning. The best way for you to start to be obsolete is to stop learning. You need to continue learning. You need to continue growing. The IT, we know it 3 years ago, 5 years ago, is not what it is now. You saw the advent, you can see the advent of AI. You can see automation coming into the space. Automation is going to replace a lot of roles like you must have heard before. Fine, but it's not good that some roles it can't replace. Because even though they are trying to make a lot of automation to be very autonomous, like to be self-creating, self-evolving and things like that. But see, the human aspect of things is still going to be there, because there needs to be like an input to that. So what you need to do is that when you find out that you are in industry or wherever you are at the moment, you need to start, okay, let's say, for example, I'm in networks or security and cloud at the moment. Then I find out that, okay, looking at the role, I'm trying to look at, because as I'm in this current, in my role, I'm looking at the roles they're advertising at the moment and looking at what are the new skills that are emerging, the new skills, the new technology emerging. And I started, then what I need to do, like I know automation is, I need to know automation. And now can I leverage automation in my space? And I started doing that. So you need to keep evolving, keep learning, and you can't just be lazy. You can't just sit back. You need to keep evolving, keep writing certification if it's certification you know how to do. If you're on a job at the moment, see how you can go the extra mile. Why people are afraid to take on projects, take on those complex projects, because you learn by taking challenges. Once you take challenges that people are running away from, by the end of the day, even though it's challenging, by the time you finish, you would have learned a lot of new skill sets that you can add to your CV. And by doing so, it will increase your market worth and you can negotiate better, even in your current space. So, and if you want to move as well, sometimes you need to consider especially if you want to change roles, you need to consider your company first. Leverage your company because it's easy to move roles within your company before, let's say somebody that is doing networks and security and stuff like that. You want to move into software. Try to leverage whether you can change and move to software or even shadow somebody in software engineering and see what they are doing. They can teach you better. You can easily get into the space by doing that, but instead of just going outside and not doing it. So that's for people here. I mean, and the other one is for people that want to switch. Switching is, you need to be very, very careful. But what I want to say that if you want to switch roles, I'll probably say you should leverage your current company that you have as well, or the industry. Let's say you are in ed sector, maybe NHS or so, and you're doing a particular role. I can't remember, I don't know. You're doing a particular, you want to move into IT. Let's say you need to define the IT you want to move to because IT is very broad. Is it software engineering? Is it software development? Is it security? Is it networks? Is it DevOps? Is different things there. So you need to define what area do you want to do in IT. Now look at your company. Don't resign from your current role and say, I want to go for 5 months to go and study, then move to, no, don't do that. Stay where you are. Now look within, it might not be your current location, but look within your industry and see how you can actually switch roles within your industry and move into that space. So it's easier for you to learn because they're going to be kind of softer with you than you going to an unknown grounds when you don't have a domain knowledge. And that will be more difficult for you to survive. So you need to leverage what the current industry you are to switch roles. And if you want to switch role, be prepared because that's hard work. Be prepared to do the work. I would probably recommend doing certification for everybody I've mentioned. Certification because it's actually exposed to real life scenarios and situations. And then what again? Then just have a mentor as well, like mentor, somebody that you could look onto. If somebody gives something at work and it's challenging, just speak to your mentor. Your mentor will be able to work out. It doesn't have to solve the problem with you. It can discuss with you, give you ideas. Then your mind can open to, even when you're researching, you can have new ideas to actually research on things. So the certification that you can do on Cisco, AWS, ITIL, like I mentioned, the foundation. If you're into security, you can do CISA, CISP. You can do, for project managers, you can do Prince 2, which everybody's familiar with, or PMP, that's something. And then again, just start with wherever you are, basically. So like what Pastor was preaching about yesterday, I was just telling him, he said, look at what you have. A lot of us have you have a lot of experience to move on from your comfort zone, but you're afraid. A lot of people are afraid of rejection. A lot of people are afraid of failure. What if I move from my comfort zone to another zone, to another company? No, this is even somebody that is not switching. What if I move because I want to increase my market share worth and stuff like that? And after probation, what if they sack me? Don't even have that kind of mindset. Just feel that you're going to go there and deliver. So, but always have it at the back of mind that before you switch roles, think about the value you can bring to the table, how you can help people to evolve, basically. So, but I always think of something. The one thing about me first is value. And also one thing I'm going to leave everybody with, my last word is, when you are in your current role, as you've moved your current role, it's a cycle, similar to life, so it's a cycle. As you're doing whatever thing you're doing in your current role, go back to your CVs and keep updating your CV. Keep updating your CV with the major achievements you've done in your current role. Don't wait until you finish or you want to move before you start, because you will forget them. Just document them somewhere, your achievement, and take the major ones and document them in your CV when you're about to move. Don't wait until you move. So always update your CV, then put it back to the market. And when you're going for an interview, please be prepared for your interview. Be well prepared. And most of the interview I do now, I just go there, relax, and enjoy myself. I laugh during my interview. I laugh a lot because one thing I always think is that I don't have anything to lose. I have a job. So I go there, enjoy myself, answer the questions brilliantly, and also make sure you ask them questions as well. And I think then the final thing, leave everything to God, basically, for God to, because there's always God factor in all these things. You understand? God factor is always there. Something that you think you're not going to get. Once God factor come in, you'll be surprised that they will call you. I've done one of the roles, did my current role. I even thought they were not going to come in. I told you like about 5 stages. I thought I was not going to get it, and they still called me. I still got the job, and that was God factor. It's not based on merits, to be honest.
Amen. Thank you. So the first question on my mind is, because many people here, okay, 2 questions now. Some people are joining from Nigeria, African Nigerians who are mostly looking to come into the UK. And then other people are also joining, and the major ordeal that I have seen or we are hearing is the settlement. So they've gone to uni and they want to settle. So how do they bridge that gap? The sponsorship, what do you have anything to advise on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's been very, you heard the news recently. It's been very challenging now with the UK now to get settled in the UK, especially to switch categories from student or post-study. It's been very, very challenging. But regardless, once you come into the country as students, you can always switch to post-study. Post-study work was cancelled a while ago, but it was reintroduced back again. So you have the opportunity to work for 2 years. And that 2 years while you're working, what I'm going to be saying that you need to be targeting companies that can sponsor, that can do tier 2 project. I mean, I've got a list of them. I mean, I can send the list. I mean, the list is on internet, list of different sponsors that I can get tier 2 from. For again, like I said, you need to, once you're targeting those companies as well, you need to always think about what you can offer them, because those companies need to prove to the Home Office that they can't get anybody in the UK to do that your job, or anybody. I mean, they need to go extra mile to prove that instead of them sponsoring you, they can offer that same job to somebody that is already settled in the UK. So that's that's your own preparation to be able to give them that level of technical expertise you think is worth something. So if you can have that, I think you always see companies there are a lot of them that do tier 2 sponsorship, a lot of them. But now they've increased it. They've increased the money now. I don't know, maybe a lot of us are aware. So before it used to be 28, is it 26,000? But now they've increased to 38,700 or so. So which means that any company that wants to sponsor you, they have to pay you up to 30,000 to be able to sponsor you. So yeah, that avenue is still there, that channel is still there from your post-study work. Don't stay on your post-study work. If I don't finish your post-study work, immediately you get your post-study work, start looking for sponsorship. If you get sponsored two months, a month after your post-study work, switch straight away. Don't wait to finish your post-study work. You can get this sponsor. Just look at the list and keep applying for those companies, and I think you'll be able to get something. There are other categories you can switch as well. Like
the 38,000 is across board.
Yeah, across the board. So
okay.
If you want to do tier 2 sponsors, because tier 2 sponsors don't even involve them doing like some proving that, okay, they can't give the job to anybody else, basically. It's not just from bringing people outside, even people inside as well. So they have to give them, they have to make sure they're paying 38,700 for them to sponsor.
All right. So what about people from Nigeria who is connected? If you are connecting from Nigeria, just raise up your hand virtually. So some people are connecting from Nigeria. What can you say to them?
Yeah, if you're connecting from Nigeria and you want to come here, I mean, there are still opportunities from Nigeria, but it's very kind of like very challenging, especially in this day and age that UK, they are very strict on the net immigration because of the fact that they discovered that they've allowed a lot of people to come in. So now they're more stricter with immigration. So there's still opportunities out there. So if you feel you were something, if you're a professional in Nigeria, you're working in an IT field, you've got better prospects to come to the UK. So all you need to do is to prove or to find a company in the UK, because I don't think there used to be something called highly skilled HSMP or something like that before. That one, you don't need to have a job. You don't need somebody needs to sponsor. You just come based on the fact that you've got experience there, and they give you the visa and you come and find a job. But now you can find a company based on your skill set, based on the value. So just depict the value you can offer that company. You understand? And you can proactively approach companies as well. Just send them CVs and see what they have to say. If they see that you have something of very, very good value, it might be what they're looking for that they can't find in the UK, and they can sponsor you. They can even give you a royalty welcome.
Mm-hmm. So so if you have any question, put it on the chat box as we come to round up time. So what training is required to be a cloud engineer? And then what are the training and certification requirements to be a technical project project manager? And then what are the expectations after taking this training? So one, to become a technical project manager, and then two, to become a cloud engineer. What are the training and then what are the expectations?
So for cloud engineers, so there are different aspects of things, but if you want to start at a very entry level of cloud, so you'll be looking at AWS. I'll probably recommend AWS and Azure. I mean, Google is there as well, GCP, but I'll be recommending AWS massively, emphatically. And that's because it's got the bigger market share in cloud space. So AWS, so there are a couple of exams in AWS, depends because AWS as well have specialty. So cloud itself has specialty as well. So it's got the very basic one is the AWS solution architect. So that's the very basic one. Then you've got like the professional level. That's when it starts getting difficult and getting interesting. Then you've got the DevOps aspect of it as well. Then you've got the security aspect of AWS as well. So there are different professional exams. But if you go to AWS website, so I can send a couple of links to pastors to send to some of you that are interested. So I'm interested. So I can send the whole certification hierarchy and also the parts, the certification parts that you can go through and become up to the expert level or up to the DevOps level, so to say. So I can say that to you and you can just follow them. I think and the first one is mostly theoretical. It's mostly multiple choice. And the pass mark is not high. I think it's about 65. I can't remember now. But yeah, it's something you can easily get if you want to do it. And as a AWS certified engineer, trust me, you can earn very good money. You can earn in the space up to between 60 to 90 to 100,000. So, and the other question was around technical project manager.
Yeah.
So for technical project managers, so I'll probably say what you need to do is that I won't say you should get a certification in, I'll probably say your certification, you should just focus on project management like Prince 2. I think you have foundation and practitioner. So focus on Prince 2, but anywhere you are operating, anywhere you're operating, make sure you get involved technically. Make sure you read books. If you're going to go into the software development space, make sure you understand things around software lifecycle, around automation, around CI/CD, it's continuous integration, continuous development. So basically, all those terminology, those concepts. So just familiarize yourself and what it means. Or when you just start a new role, when you are attending a meeting, you're coordinating a meeting. So make sure that any words they are coining, any words they actually mention in terminology, you're documenting them down. And you're actually researching them, have a journal to actually know what they mean, what the true meaning is, or where they use them, or how things work and things like that. So just have like a journal to start getting all those technical terminologies. So I wouldn't say maybe you should go and write a specific technical professional certification. If you can do it, that's fine in any field, but again, it's not really necessary. But what I say that leverage the technical stakeholders at your place of work to get the technical experience.
So the next question is, for example, now the Prince 2 foundation particularly, you don't really need a base knowledge. But for AWS and Azure, do you need a base knowledge to enter into this space?
I would probably say no. You don't need. But you need to do a lot of.
So that means anybody from healthcare, anybody can enter this.
Anybody can enter.
Engineer, anybody, okay.
Yeah, you can enter the cloud space. Now, the only thing I would tell you is that for you to excel better, so you don't need that foundational experience of IT and stuff like that. But for you to excel better, to understand things quicker, I probably recommend you do CompTIA. So CompTIA has different aspects, like in terms of you've got A+, which talk about system. We've got Network Plus, we talk about networks, and we've got the security, the cybersecurity aspect of it, we talk about security. So they've got those foundational certification. So if you can do the entry level with CompTIA, you understand, you can go straight to AWS and you're going to excel easily. with AWS. Take the associate level exam. Trust me. Once I mean, I can recommend you can go to Udemy and look at AWS Solution Architect. Go to plural sites. Go to what other sites? I use O'Reilly Safari. I use INE as well. So go to all these things. You will see the full study guide of AWS. You just need to follow the study guide, basically. Do everything. And one of the good things about studying for this professional exam is that they're going to give you a trial account or a study account. I can't remember because when I did it, so they give you like an account that you can use to access most of these web service applications and to create and to do, basically as you are learning, you are practicing right where you're learning. So you have that understanding, which you can use to defend yourself during an interview as well. So you don't have to have any experience anywhere to do AWS, but you will excel better if you can do those foundational courses, CompTIA at least, then before moving to AWS certification.
Send all those things to us so that we can share it on the platform.
Yeah,
and also, that reminds me, there is a WhatsApp platform that has been on. So if you want, it's not a must. It's not a must, I keep saying, but if you want to join that WhatsApp group, that's the link. Just click on it and then you come in. It's strictly for mentoring and knowledge sharing like this kind of information. So someone says here, does it have to be in IT? What other aspect? Because I'm not in the IT space.
I mean, I'm going to be talking for IT because I'm not in any other space. I've got friends in other space. But yeah, for IT,
but I think it's transferable, isn't it? It doesn't even have to be IT. You know, getting your mentoring right, you know, just hard work, going all the way. But if you have any specific question, blessing, you can then write it. So somebody says a pathway to these roles, please share it. I'll be looked at there. So the links will come in. Does AWS certification require one to have IT certification?
No. You don't, like I said, you don't, even if you can be a project manager or business analyst or data analyst, you can switch to being AWS solution architect. You don't have to have any prerequisites or any foundation. You can do the exam today and put it on your CV and become a cloud engineer the following week, or you can get it provided, which is why I'm saying that it's better. No, don't just rush to do the exam. I'll probably say, do the exam as if it's your daily job. You understand? Do the exam because on all the answer you're going to do it, and you have the very a good in-depth understanding. Because once you can do that, you'll be able to defend yourself when you apply for roles.
All right. So, any recommended training center to take Prince 2 in the UK? You have a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of Prometric centers around. So yeah, I think sometimes, I mean, even now they're doing it online. So it's kind of monitoring your screen, what you're doing.
You write your exams on time.
You can write online as well, and immediately you finished, you can get the results. So most of these IT exams are mostly through, I've forgotten, person view. Yeah, that you can just register. There are a lot of certifications that you can just register. And the good thing about it, once you start writing certification and see the beauty of certification, trust me, you don't want to stop. Like I remember when Pastor was doing his own certification, he want to keep writing, he want to write more. It's like, I want to write, I want to do this, I want to do that. So you see the joy of, like, you see that fulfillment, because you can feel like real what's the scenario being described. You can see yourself getting fulfilled, and the zeal is always there to learn more.
Or any other question before we, and also before we round up? So this navigate that we're doing, this mentorship that we're doing, is the plan is that at some point next year we're going to have if not a whole day, but half a day boot camp. So you see Mr. Femi coming with some of his team, and then some other guys that have been here before, just to help some of us with hands-on. So please be on the lookout for that. That should be, by the grace of God, maybe March. So we'll have it in church, but it's Saturday now. Just to really, really help and get you where you are, from where you are to where you should be. And then if there is any bottlenecks, to remove that for you. So please put that at the back of your mind. Once we have the date, we'll communicate that to you, possibly in March. So please, bear that in mind, and whatever it is you are learning, put it to work, because that's like I was saying yesterday, the seed is meaningless if it's not planted. It has to be planted. So put it to work, and you never know. You see, you never know. So any other question before we begin to round up? Those of you connecting for the first time for Navigate, thank you for connecting. I hope you are learning one or two things. So do we have any other question before we go?
I'm just going to round up with two things. So the first thing I think is, sorry, if you have any question, just type a question while I'm speaking. What I'm saying is, no matter the number of certification you have, and no matter how well it could be or how technically, if your CV is not right, if your CV can't market you, you might be frustrated getting a job. Once you've done your own work, technical wise, certification wise, your CV has to be right. You need to know how to write a CV. And mostly, a lot of people put a lot of roles, their responsibility of what they're doing. I've always told people you need to put your achievements, key achievements in your CV. Spell it out. You understand? So that's the first thing. And the second thing is around hard work, like Pastor have said as well. So you can't overemphasize hard work. If you're lazy, you can easily get too comfy when you get a particular role. If you want to switch into IT, because a lot of people say, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, but they don't want to push themselves. They don't want to do the work. It involves a lot of hard work, but trust me, it's going to pay. It pays off at the end of the day. So once you're ready, if you know you're really ready, so like Pastor was saying, we're doing boot camp, I'm going to be bringing a couple of guys working in cybersecurity, a couple of guys working in the guys are Scrum Master experts. So with a couple of guys coming around that's going to be helping people to do things, and also keywords on CVs, how to interview tips, and apart from recommendation on how to go about things, navigating yourself within the industry, certification parts. So all those things as well. So we're going to be talking more about them. But what I'm going to say is that be ready to do the work, but trust me, it's going to pay off at the end of the day.
Someone says, what certification does a data scientist need?
Yeah, I mean, you've got data. What's the name of this school? I know. Go ahead.
Is it Power BI?
No. Power BI is one of the tools that is being used.
Okay.
Yeah. So data science, I know there's this, is it the BCIS, or, there's an institute, that's mostly for business analysts, but they actually do data analytical certification as well. So I will probably have a look. I think it's
BCS.
Is it BCIS or BCS?
BCS is BCS Society, yeah.
Yeah. This is the British. Is it the? I can't remember very well. Yeah,
British Computer Science Society.
Is the okay? Yeah, but I'm going to have a look at it in details and actually forward that to you. So yeah, so data scientists, I think is if you do the certification that I've just mentioned with that institute, apart from doing that certification as well, you need to sometimes you need to go to a site. I don't know, maybe Udemy, you're familiar with Udemy. So learn some concept around machine learning, and there are a lot of things around automation, around different. They will tell you different modeling or algorithms around machine learning and how to work with that, with how you work with different models, different frameworks with data scientists, because data scientists they model using data and to make some predictions, some future or predictions. So you might do that certification, but what I would recommend is to do more knowledge gaining. I've built a knowledge base using Udemy or Plura sites. If you go there, just type a course on, and they are subsidized at a very, very good rate. So you can do stuff on machine learning, on modeling, on data analytics and stuff like that. And you can go to Coursera as well to do a lot of things around data science as well. So, but if you want to go to data science, if you've not, I probably wouldn't encourage you to just jump to data science like that, seriously, because data science is the most complex part of data in the data space. I'll probably say if you're not doing data analytics at the moment, If you're not doing data analysis, you're not doing business analysis, I'll probably say maybe start at that stage of data analysis. Then from there, you don't have to go into being a data engineer. So you can just jump the gun and just move from data analysis to being a data scientist. So that will help you to be a better modeler, to be able to model the better using data sets.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Do you have any last final thoughts before we go?
Oh, myself?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is just, I've probably said a lot of things I want to say. The round trip through, just for people that are just joining. So just to recap a lot of few things and just end it from there, I'm just going to bullet all the points. So the first thing is that appreciate what you have at the moment, what you can leverage from your school, from what if you don't have any experience, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry about lack of experience. I don't have experience when I started my IT. But leverage what you have, your education, your internship, your vocational experience, your life skills, basically, pull them, document them on the CVs and move on. Then industry certification, I've mentioned different certification. I'm going to send the links to Pastor. Some people are interested in AWS. I'm going to send the certification pathway to Pastor. So that, like I said, you can start from ITO, which is the very basic entry level for service management concepts and lifecycle management, service management. So we've got like the CompTIA, which I recommended as entry level as well. It's got A+, Network Plus, and cybersecurity as well. So if you want to go into AWS or software development, I'll probably recommend you to start from CompTIA to make your journey a lot easier and quicker. You understand? So that you just don't throw yourself in the middle of the ocean and try to navigate your way out. So the other one again is that you need to look for entry-level role. If you don't have experience, don't just go and jump the gun and say, I'm looking for 100,000 job. Without experience, without nothing, you feel you're going to push yourself. And if you're going to push yourself to get roles that are higher than yourself, know that it's dangerous. But if you can push yourself to do the work and deliver, then it's good, because that's one of the quickest ways to increase your market worth, basically. And also, I will encourage one of us, like I said, when I was moving into career financial industry. So I actually started reading a lot of stuff and joined different forums. I started reading a lot on e-financial careers. I did a lot of stuff on Financial Times, because you see a lot of information on Financial Times about the merging of financial institutions, the sales acquisitions and stuff like that. And also you'll be able to learn some of these terminologies from in its financial space. So attend network events. I attend a lot of network events. Cloud Expo. There's Cloud Expo. If you're interested in cloud, every year in the UK, there's always Cloud Expo. There's IP Expo. There's security, different programs. There are different network events. You can go. Some people, you meet them on the platform of Gold. You interact with them. They can guide you of what to do and things like that. And also, it's an opportunity to meet people as well. And you can tell them your problem. Oh, I want to go into it, but they can ask you to bring your CV. You might get your first job from there. So don't undermine the power of networking events and career events. So again, one of the things I said is keep evolving, keep learning, and keep sharing. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. These are the principles that will help you to master your game, to be very good in your industry, in your space. If you learn and learn and learn without sharing, there's possibility that you might not be you might make less impact, and also you might not be very good. You might think you know some things, and you might find out that you're not as good as you think you're good. So keep sharing, keep learning, and keep evolving as well. So when switching career, I say leverage your current industry. If you're in healthcare, you want to switch career, you want to go to software development, you want to go to database, you're doing probably pure healthcare, don't worry. I'd see you just leverage your company and switch. And then you can move from there. You can leave your company after 1 or 2 years, after leveraging, go outside, then you can command more market share, more market value. So, and the other thing I said is sell yourself right, market your values well. So your value, you need to think about the value. Everything is about value. You need to be able to think about something you're going to bring up to the table. People will not hire you if you are valueless. People will not hire you because they're paying you to deliver something, to create something. So if you can't produce that result, they're not going to hire you, or they can hire you and fire you. So you need to think about the value you're going to. So sell yourself right, market your values well. Your CV is the most important part of your job hunting. So make it right. You need to make it Yeah, prepare it very right, create it properly. So interview, I talk about interview as well. Always relax. Whenever I go to an interview, just relax. They don't have to be, agitated or relax and just be well prepared, but at the same time, relax and enjoy the process. They want your service. You want to offer them service. You want to prove to them that you can offer them a service. They want to listen to you. That are you the right person for them? And if they feel they're the right person for them, trust me, they're going to give you that. And I tell you, the last thing, mentorship is the key. Mentorship can help you to navigate yourself better in the industry, and you can achieve anything you want to achieve, to be honest, provided you put your mind to it. Thank you, Pastor.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. See some of you tomorrow in church. And
thank you, sir.
That will be it. Thank you. Thank you. Bola Shoneye, is that from Foursquare Gospel Church?
No.
Okay. Well, that name sounds so familiar. But thank you for
connecting. I'm a friend of
he's my very good friend.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Good. Thank you for connecting. Destiny, Mercy. Who else there? Vikings. Larry, thank you guys for connecting. I hope you had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. All right, Mr. Femi, thank you so much. Thank you. And that will be it. All right, guys. So we'll see you next year in person, physical now. That's the one we're going for. All right, so bye for now. Bye, everyone. Destiny, thank you.